Hello everyone, my name is Brianna, and throughout this video I will be talking about mental and psychological disorders. So basically what mental and psychological disorders is, it all has to do with the person's brain activity, the way a person is behaving, their symptoms. It all starts with the brain. And throughout this research, I researched many types of mental disorders, but I came across three most important ones, which the first one is bipolar disorder, the second one would be schizophrenia, and the third one is anxiety disorders. So bipolar disorders, what this basically is, it has to do with the mental disorder condition that basically causes extreme mood swings. It has to do with emotions. For example, it includes emotional highs, mania, hypomania, and lows, such as depression. So it has a combination of both, manic depressive illness. And then also has to do with the moods, energy, and activity levels. Some people experience some hyperness, some people experience lows, like depression. And bipolar disorder actually has three types of disorders: bipolar 1, bipolar 2, and cyclothymia. So what bipolar 1 disorder is, it has to do with manic episodes, requires, immediate hospital care. So this is the most severe type of disorder. The second one, which is bipolar 2, it's, depressive patterns and hypomanic episodes. So it's a combination of both. The third one, which was cyclothymia, this is made up of numerous periods of hypomanic symptoms, depressive symptoms. So all these three types of disorders have common symptoms. The only difference is that, for example, bipolar 1 is the most severe one, as it requires hospital care. So the causes vary. The causes are still not, known. There's still research being conducted on the causes of bipolar disorder, but the first one is basically brain structure and functioning. So this has to do with the brain. It has to do with the activity levels. It could be physical changes in brain due to high stress. Also, drug and alcohol abuse can cause this. Second one is genetics. So family history. If you had a relative that was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, it could be most likely passed along. So diagnosis, if a person perhaps can be possibly experiencing bipolar disorder, they can get a physical exam, run tests, tests that can be determining what is causing the problem, a psychiatric assessment. Doctors refers to a psychiatric. They talk about your problems, about your symptoms, family history. An important one too can be mood charting. This can be a self-assessment, basically. So a person can be recording their moods daily, their sleep patterns, for example, changes that they're physically and emotionally feeling and experiencing. And from there, when they have their appointment for a psychiatric appointment, they can let the doctor know, and more research can be conducted from that. Also, criteria for bipolar disorder. So when a person is feeling the symptoms, the criteria for bipolar disorder is available for the doctor to compare and possibly diagnose you with bipolar disorder. So next, right here, this is a chart. This one right here. So these are statistics of bipolar disorder among U.S. adults between 2001 and 2003. As you can see, the highest percentage would be male and females between the ages of 18 and 29 that experience bipolar disorder. The least one would be people 60 years and older that experience bipolar disorder. Okay, so now moving on to the signs and symptoms. So this it could be intense emotion, changes in sleep patterns, like I mentioned earlier, or unusual behaviors, and as well as manic and depressive. So I made a chart down here defining this difference between a possible manic episode and a depressive episode. So the difference is that manic episodes have to do with, feeling jumpy, and the energy side of it, either feeling energetic, or you're just feeling low or slowed down, and that would be in the depressive side of the episode. So in the depressive side, sad, down, hopeless, little energy. Some people experience both of these together, different days. Some people experience just one type, either manic episode or depressive episode. It all has to do with the person. So treatment options, there is some options that help people get better from this disorder. The first one, medications. So mood stabilizers would be one. This is basically, it controls the manic or hypomanic episodes that a person is experiencing. Antipsychotics, what this drug basically does, it treats the symptoms of people experiencing depression, because depression is really common in people with bipolar disorders. This is a lifelong type of disorder, so continued treatment is really required for a person with bipolar disorder. Showing up to appointments for psychotherapy, or just simply taking their medication. So it's really enforced that a person continues with their treatment. If they have severe bipolar disorder, hospitalization is required, as sometimes a person it could be a simple danger to themselves, or they can't take care of themselves. So hospitalization is basically for people that are experiencing bipolar 1 type of disorder. So now I will be talking about schizophrenia, and it could be a rare disease. Only 1% of Americans get affected or get diagnosed with schizophrenia. So basically what schizophrenia is, it's a serious mental disorder in which basically people interpret reality abnormally. They experience hallucinations, delusions. It affects their feelings, thoughts, and behavior. This is a really, really complex disorder, and it is long-term. So on this slide, I included like an image of an art, and I watched a video, and this is how many people diagnosed with schizophrenia can feel. Like their mind is just going in swirls. It's a really complex disorder, and the causes of it, like I said earlier with the other disorder, it's still not too known, but it could be perhaps a combination of genetics. A common one is brain chemistry. So it could be like a natural occurring of brain chemicals happening in the brain, which has to do with the neurotransmitters, for example, dopamine and glutamate. It has, in most cases, people get, the causes could be because there's natural and chemical changes occurring in the brain. One cause could be increased immune system activation. With this, basically it's like inflammation and autoimmune diseases. Autoimmune diseases have to do with like an immune system basically attacking the healthy cells. So this can cause schizophrenia as well. Family history, people that have relatives that have experienced schizophrenia can perhaps be passed down in the genetics. An environment is also one key to the cause. It has to do basically before birth, if a person is exposed to malnutrition or viruses, it can cause them to develop schizophrenia, either in the short run or long run. So diagnosis, just like the other disorder, a physical exam could be one way to diagnose. Test and screening, psychiatric evaluation could be a way. And here I have a chart of people that have been admitted to emergency departments with schizophrenia. So the most people that experience this has to do with the age between 40 and 49.